In the heart of Paris, a neoclassical chateau nestled among haute couture flagships became the stage for a daring heist. October 6, 2007, the day $37 million in jewels vanished in less than half an hour. A true crime so audacious, it left law enforcement puzzled. At 9:50 a.m., Marie Capdeville, the import-export director, unsuspectingly entered the boutique. Little did she know, 4 armed men in balaclavas lurked in the shadows. As she settled at her desk, they struck, bludgeons and handguns concealed beneath painters' coveralls. The heist was underway. With precision, the thieves subdued the staff, tying them up like captives in a high-stakes drama. Manager Matthieu Brichet, pressed by the barrel of a gun, struggled to open the safe. "Get Bérénice," he pleaded, summoning Marie Bérénice Belzacq, a sales associate with the key to the safe. Jewels glimmered as they transferred from their secure cases into the hands of the thieves. Tear gas and video surveillance tapes seized. The criminals fled through the back exit into a rented minivan, leaving behind an empty showroom and a trail of questions. In the aftermath, police faced a puzzle, a meticulously executed crime with almost no trace left behind. Only the names Farid and Voldemort from Harry Potter fame were mentioned. Suspicions pointed to a notorious syndicate, the Pink Panthers, veterans of over 400 heists worldwide. According to Avocat Général Pascal Fauré, the Paris Court of Appeals Attorney General, this wasn't the work of amateurs. The level of planning and precision indicated an organization at play, possibly the Pink Panthers or a homegrown gang from the Parisian suburbs. The $37 million question remains. Did they catch the real masterminds? Or are the brains behind this audacious heist still at large? But hey, why keep all this fascinating knowledge to ourselves? Join our community of curious minds today and subscribe right away. Come and unlock the world's curiosities on Becker's Casual History. After helping the Paris store's team to their feet, gendarmes found the service stairway covered in blue-green powder. Fire extinguishers had been emptied all over the stairwell to erase traces, as the group had spent the night there. A nod to the 1955 French film noir Rififi, where extinguishers silenced a high-end jewelry store's alarm. The Pink Panthers, known for their cinematic heists, occasionally drew inspiration from the silver screen, executing escapes reminiscent of To Catch a Thief's speedboat getaways on the Côte d'Azur. In law enforcement, characters like Attorney General Pascal Fauré emerged, resembling a detective from a Nouvelle Vague film, with his side-parted silvery coif and popped collar trench coat. His right eye squinted into a prolonged wink when emphasizing words like Kalashnikov or diamonds, adding a touch of mystery to his demeanor. According to Fauré, the Harry Winston heist was a coup d'éclat, a stunning coup executed by serious individuals at the top of grand banditry. To delve into the Pink Panthers, we looked at insights from one of their founding members, Pavle Punch Stanimirovic, a self-proclaimed gem heist mastermind now retired. Claiming there was no head or tail to the organization, Stanimirovic described the Pink Panthers as a transnational spider web. Some members were veterans of the Balkan Wars, explaining their paramilitary brazenness. The Panthers pulled off audacious heists worldwide, from smashing cars through storefronts in Dubai to stealing the Comtesse de Vendôme necklace in Tokyo, deemed the greatest robbery in the history of Japan. Stanimirovic emphasized their non-violent approach. "I did hundreds of heists, smash and grabs, all different types of burglaries, anything that didn't hurt people." His nickname, Punch, referred to his ability to rapidly crack vaults using advanced tools, not a propensity for violence. One curiosity in the Harry Winston case was the absence of alarms triggering, despite volumetric radars detecting any movement. When asked if the Pink Panthers could be behind it, Punch noted, "Sure, yeah, could be, of course, without a question." Shortly before midnight on February 8, 2008, 4 months post-robbery, police in the banlieue of Bobigny spotted a brand-new Renault Megane blazing through red lights at over 75 miles per hour. Behind the wheel, an intoxicated 42-year-old named Farid Alou, emerging from noisy Le Sec, a northeastern Parisian suburb. A menacing figure with a block-headed appearance, a large, disjointed nose, and a scar from cheek to chin. Alou had spent most of his life in prison for armed robbery and aggravated assault. At that moment, he was unfettered, perhaps the most liberated he'd ever been. No rules could rein him in until he noticed those ominous blue lights in his rearview mirror. Evading the police, Alou, with 40,000 euros in his pocket, claimed the bills were from an unnamed bar acquaintance. Unemployed, he'd bought the car that week with more cash. The bills tainted with trace amounts of heroin and cocaine. Alou, a Frenchman of Algerian heritage, had faced a challenging life, marked by violence and a troubled past. Placed in a violent residential school at 8, he dropped out in 5th grade, battled depression, and learned he was HIV positive at 20. Convinced he had nothing to lose, he embraced a life of crime, charged with armed robbery the same year he received his diagnosis. The essential marrow of life eluded Alou, repeatedly landing him back in prison after each release. By the night of his arrest, he'd been convicted of 8 felonies, serving 20 years in prison. Psychiatric evaluations painted a bleak picture of persistent contempt toward others' rights and property. Fortunately for Alou, the police had no reason to link him to the Farid mentioned in the burglary. They seized the 40,000 euros until he provided proof of its origin. 10 months later, on December 3, 2008, having provided necessary paperwork, Alou triggered a twisted sequel. Harry's was ransacked again, this time for $73 million. Deemed le casse du siècle, the break-in of the century by the French media. At 5:20 p.m. on Thursday, December 4th, a seemingly innocuous group approached Harry Winston's front door. 4 tall figures, 3 dressed in women's attire, wheeled a suitcase towards the entrance. The security guard, glancing at silk scarves, long blonde hair, high heels and stockings, allowed them entry, unaware of the impending threat. Shoppers across the street at Louis Vuitton raised alarms about men in drag entering Harry Winston. A Cartier salesperson, noting their heights, builds, and eccentric outfits, sensed foul play. Yet, after using the intercom, the group was granted access. Inside, a hostess guided them up the main staircase. The opulent sitting rooms adorned with blue velvet and gold accents were Harry Winston's typical customer spaces. Security guards monitored movements through lavalier microphones, reporting actions with precision. However, the cross-dressers' intent became clear midway up the stairs. They brandished weapons, including a hand grenade. Amidst chaos, they stormed into the manager's office, instructing everyone to lie face down. Armed with employees' names and home addresses, they sought to instill fear and discourage cooperation. With knowledge of a recently delivered 31-carat diamond solitaire ring, hidden in a secret compartment at the bottom of the main safe, they swiftly targeted the prized possession known as La Grosse Pierre, valued at $8 million. Looting display cases and deactivating alarms, the criminals filled their suitcase with 297 bijoux and 104 watches. Threatening to detonate the grenade if pursued, they vanished with their haul. Although Harry Winston jewels lack price tags, this 20-minute heist was soon unveiled as the costliest in French history. The grand deception had unfolded, whether orchestrated by the Pink Panthers or another. The second Harry Winston robbery stood out as their grandest, most audacious feat. Yet a crucial error revealed itself. The perpetrators spoke. Employees testified to Slavic accents, a detail aligning with the Panthers' flair for theatricality. Isabelle Montaigne, spokeswoman for the Paris prosecutor's office, acknowledged the Panther hypothesis but refrained from definitive statements. In a curious parallel, Lloyd's of London, the insurer from the original The Pink Panther film, covered the jewels in both Winston heists. Their loss adjuster, John Shaw, a meticulous Scot with a genial demeanor, offered a $1 million reward through unconventional channels. Advertisements appeared not in esteemed dailies but in Le Parisien, a banlieue popular paper. Shaw's strategy targeted potential informants with ties to the criminal underworld. Lloyd's appealed to Montenegro and Serbia, home to the Panthers, receiving various responses. Among the noise, a credible informant from Romania emerged. claiming the thieves operated out of a Bucharest hotel, selling the stolen jewels. Skeptical French police, considering Romania an unlikely market for such high-value gems, decided to investigate. The arrest that followed, unfortunately, yielded jewels from another Normandy store, not Harry Winston. Undeterred, detectives delved deeper. Witness accounts of Slavic accents, fingerprints on a discarded handbag, and preserved surveillance tapes became pivotal. Reviewing footage, investigators focused on Matthieu Brichet, an in-house security agent. Brichet's suspicious behavior during the second robbery, coupled with lavish spending and connections to a shopkeeper selling the same handbag model, raised red flags. The shop was in Enghien-les-Bains, becoming the next stop for the determined police. The gambling enclave of Enghien-les-Bains, a mere 10 miles north of Paris, hides its illicit dealings behind the shimmering facade of a lakeside casino. La Divette, a shadowy bar tabac, becomes the breeding ground for those with meager means but towering dreams, where Le Parisien is a common sight. Cigars and sharp knives are peddled in La Divette, a haven for video lottery terminals, horse race bets, and sports wagers. The multicultural, predominantly male clientele, disregarding the handwritten plea not to litter, populates the space, indulging in beer or brandy even at dawn. A garishly adorned waitress exuding disdain orchestrates the symphony of vice behind the bar. Within these walls, the Harry Winston capers took shape. Matthieu Brichet, the inside man, frequented a nearby gym, boasting of his celebrity-adjacent job and divulging security vulnerabilities. Enter Patrick Chenaya, a construction worker with an unexpected connection to a gangster capable of orchestrating the heist. Introduced to Douad Yahyaoui, known as Doudou, Brichet's skepticism waned. Doudou, a broad-shouldered boilermaker with a criminal history, saw opportunity in the audacious plan to raid Harry Winston. Brichet, initially hesitant, succumbed to Doudou's persuasive tactics, swayed by promises of a violence-free heist and insurance-covered reimbursements. Their scheme solidified over whiskey and cigars in Doudou's living room, the Algerian heritage and shared experiences weaving a bond between the unlikely partners. Brichet, feeling akin to an older brother, was reassured of the simplicity of the endeavor. Following the December robbery, Lloyd's of London dangled a $1 million reward, attracting the 200th caller with credible information about Farid Alou and Doudou Yahyaoui. Wiretaps and covert microphones captured incriminating conversations, unveiling their coded language referring to percentages, carats, and the stolen 31-carat diamond ring. As the crew flaunted their ill-gotten gains through extravagant vacations and luxury car rentals, police monitored their every move. The informant's tip led to a decisive moment on June 21, 2009, as Farid Alou, parked on the curb with cautious glances, received a bag containing 49,000 euros from Doudou. Ski-masked officers, poised for the takedown, swarmed the scene as the illicit exchange unfolded. In February 2015, the courtroom became the stage for the reckoning of Doudou, Alou, and Brichet. Accused of armed robbery within an organized criminal group, Doudou, purportedly the mastermind, observed the proceedings from a securitized glass compartment, exuding a quasi-demonic aura. Prosecutors painted Doudou as the orchestrator, emphasizing the recovered jewels and cash hidden in his compound. A subsequent search unveiled the infamous La Grosse in a Pink Panther's trademark, a plastic jar of face cream concealed within a concrete drain pipe. The revelation reached new heights when an RBM-80 rocket launcher of Yugoslavian origin was discovered in his possession. Doudou's defense claimed he was merely a middleman, wearing a hat too large for his head. However, the court, unmoved, deemed him the brains of the operation. Still, Doudou insisted that the true ringleader, the real Pink Panther, eluded capture. During the trial, video footage exposed the cross-dressed robbers, with Alou humorously recalling his role as Bernadette Chirac with a dainty purse. Despite admitting complicity, Alou deflected leadership accusations, leaving a Pink Panther-like air of mystery in the courtroom. Dudu's lawyers failed to convince the court of their client's lesser role. Sylvie Kachner, the prosecutor, asserted Dudu's pivotal role, organizing, recruiting, instructing, and selling the stolen jewelry. To this day, Dudu maintains the existence of an elusive mastermind within the Pink Panthers. Farid Alou, on the stand, exuded an almost cinematic flair, shifting between responsibility and steadfast silence about the true orchestrator. His reminiscences painted a picture of a changed man, friendless and scorned, haunted by his past actions. Mullah Jennad, the inside man, experienced a stark contrast in demeanor. Full of remorse, he admitted deactivating alarms and facilitating the first robbery. His testimony unveiled a man cornered, expressing shame and sorrow for his actions. Sentences were dealt. Jennad, 5 years, Dudu, 15 years, and Alou, 10 years. Alou, seemingly indifferent, claimed to have stopped thinking altogether. As the court navigated appeals, Pascal Faure, undeterred, emphasized the meticulousness needed for cases involving organized criminality. The enduring mystery of why France remains a hotspot for jewelry heists was attributed to the concentration of jewelers and their cultural significance. Dudu's claim of not being the ringleader remains contentious, connecting to ongoing investigations. Punch Stanimirovich hinted at internal Panther dynamics, introducing the possibility of a mysterious engineer's involvement and unrecovered jewels. Of the 881 stolen pieces, several hundred were found at Dudu's property, but 493 items are still missing. The gang likely smuggled some out of France, leaving a lingering question: where did they go? Rumors swirl about a diamond from the heist adorning the finger of Lyudmila Putina, a gift from Vladimir Putin, marking a surreal end to the Harry Winston saga. If you've been as captivated by this journey as we have, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more mind-bending tales like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned to Becker's Casual History. Thank you for joining us.